Um, toward the end of the slide, we'll get to that where we talk of the time we have. It's a difficult time. We are approaching recession if we are not in recession already. So now this is where the science of it comes in, where we now need to think. We need we need to now think about what we do. We now need to innovate around our product. We now need to innovate around what we do. That is where the adoption of thinking out of the box coming. Some will tell you that sales is a war. If you have been following the issue between Dangote Cement and Lafarge and the other players in the cement industry, you will see that it's not just if you're able to get to a level where you are competing. It's a war. It's not you and Sheyi and Ayo, they are friends, they are selling the same product. You are not yet there. When you get there, look at the war between Coca-Cola and Pepsi, for example. That is that is where the people in those um, business have to think out of the box. How do we outsmart the other party? I'm sure you are exposed to what they call the product life cycle. So in your product life cycle, depending on where your product is, will determine how you play. All this, I can't make you to become a finished salesperson in one day, but I'll give you a lot which you can put down. We can actually discuss a lot of this at the question and answer series. Something came to my mind just now, which is the rivalries in the industry at which you play. If you are in a monopolistic market, for example, monopolistic market will say maybe you are few in that industry, whether there is recession, whether there is depression, you will be able to um, to detect what happens. If you are in monopolistic, either you are determining the price of the market, you can have a cartel between you and whoever control of the market, depending on the percentage share of what you have, and say this is how much you want to sell. But in a very competitive market space, then you need to think out of the box. You need to innovate. A lot of us are in that space. Yes, we are small players. A lot of us are crowded in that small market. So we need to look at today now. Everybody is doing max Nigeria. If um, you had started before everybody started doing it, fine. But today, when they first came, I remember I spoke to somebody, let's start do this max. He said, max, it costs about 300 naira per max. Today, you can get a max for 150, the Nigerian max. You can even get at 100 naira. So, so it's no longer an interesting place to be. However, if you are in that industry, if you have to think out of the box. How in thinking out of the box, you innovate. In thinking out of the box is where you try to study your consumers and say, okay, how else can I satisfy my consumer? What else can I do? So that is where you need to do a lot of study, a lot of consumer survey, a lot of consumer thinking and all stuff. Um, the next thing I would like to talk about is building effective sales pipeline. So there is a process to selling. I think I should just go through straight to process to selling and planning. That is where the structure in sales comes into being. I will dwell so much on this today because I know that a lot of us are not exposed to what they call structured selling. Yes, so that's where we say selling is a process. It starts from a particular place. So you have produced your product or you are about to produce your product. There is usually the debate between what comes first. Is it selling that comes first or marketing? Like they will teach you, it will depend on what kind of product that you have. So let's go straight to what they call structured call. So in selling, This will be for you, for those that you have product and you have people that work for you, and then you want to manage them. So if today you are the, even if you are the only person in the business, it's good to have a structured approach to how you approach your sales. And if you are more than one, if you have your salespeople, this is for you. So how do we start? We have three stages to a structured call. We have the pre, we have the in call, and then we have the post call. It is in the pre that we do all the planning and the preparation of this world. You plan, you prepare. In the in call, what you do during the sales itself. For example, what does your sales driver do? You review your objective. When you get to the client, you do presentation, you do close, you do sales, you do activation. We will not be able to, all these things are courses on their own. There is even the one they call objection handling. Maybe one of these days you can do objection handling, or can get somebody that can come and give you what we call objection handling. It's a key aspect of sales. We will not be able to get there. Then on the post, what do we do on post? That is the administration and the evaluation. So let's see. Step one, which is planning. You want to plan to go. What do you want to do? Why are you going out for a salesperson? Why must you? Why can't I just sit down in front of my office and put, for example, maybe you sell, let's do a typical thing that we talk about today, marks, no marks. You said no smart. So you have the picture, come here, buy your no smart. You have to go out. Why do you have to go out? Why do you have to go to where the customers are? When do I have to go out? What do I take along when I'm going out? These are the questions you ask yourself. Why do I go out? When do I go out? What do I go out with? So these are things that you do in your planning and preparation. So what you do at the beginning of the month is different from what you do towards the end of the month. Um, this is the thing that you consider are the days of the time. We say, are we in the beginning of the month? For example, our firm will do a business. We have a business of we work with Ikeja Disco, so where we help them to rev up their revenue. So that you need to understand when when do we do this? So we normally will do this when people have been paid. So towards the end of the month, usually everybody will have been paid salary. But if you go and do it at the middle of the month or when they've not been paid salary, you will have issues. You just have your salespeople, they will go out, they will not come back with. They won't have much results to show for it. So one is in the understanding your consumer, is in knowing when they have their consumption income. So you plan, you have your plan. So before going out, these are things that you have to do. Why and what you have to do. What do you need in planning? That what we call the daily route coverage plan. I would be sharing this with you, maybe not today, to on your coverage plan. So that is where we talk about territory planning. If you have more than three, for example, you want to, I don't know what territory you are. Say, assume your territory is Nigeria, and then you are in Lagos. So that means you will be thinking of the six geopolitical zones. So you may need to have somebody in the northwest, somebody in the north south, somebody in the south south. So you need to have the plan to cover the whole of the country if your territory is Nigeria. So and your list must be up to date. So one of the thinking out of the box is in the use of the GPS. For example, if your territory is in Nigeria, or in the use of data to drive your business. And today, technology has helped. You can leverage so well and so much with technology to do a lot. In fact, for those of us, I'm not, even though I have a degree in technology, I'm not so savvy with it anymore. But if you leverage so much on technology, If you have not, I will advise, I will recommend that you do something around data analytics. It will help you in whatever you do. So if your coverage, let's go back to our planning. If your coverage in Nigeria, you need to plan. So we've done something where we have what they call sales retail audit. In retail audit, you want to know your retailers in a particular territory, the retailers of the product that you sell. So if you have a data of all the retailers in the territory that you manage, even if they are not your customers, you may be able and may be at an advantage position than your competitor in ousting your competitor at some point in time. Um, so what do you need? You need your core coverage, you need your journey plan. I'm sure we all have what they call targeting. So with if you have not, it's something that you should look at. How do I set target for my staff? How do I set target for my business? How do I set it dovetail from the business plan or from your what they call strategic plan. So your business plan, your strategic plan will tell you, we have given you an indication of the total revenue of the business that you can actually achieve. And you can say, okay, maybe the revenue for this year, you are looking at $100 million, so 100 million naira. I will expect that your revenue this year will be different from your revenue next year. Or your revenue this year must be higher than your revenue last year. So you start from, okay, I want to achieve X amount target. Then this is the target that you will give to your salespeople. And this is how you start revving it up. So
Mr. Let me cut you short a bit. Can you please put the presentation in presentation mode?
I think it is.
The PowerPoint in presentation. So start from current slide.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. I thought it was.
Down. Okay.
This is where we are. This is where we are. We stop.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So this I think I was going to move to the next slide. Yes, I was going to move to plan at a core. You need your core coverage, your journey plan. We're talking about target. In your planning, depending on the stage you are in your business, you do promotion. Then you do what they call the sales presenter. Sales presenter may be a small document that your salespeople go about. It could be something that you do, that you give to consumers on the street. Planning at the start of every day. That this is what we teach a salesman which is, or anybody that want to be in sales. So you start of every day. You look at the previous night. What did I stop with? You review your journey today. You look at your customer record. You assemble it. Okay, which one do I need to visit? Which one am I visiting? Based on what territory you are, you write your objective. Okay, for this customer A, what do I want to go and achieve from customer A? So this is very important. You don't just jump into a car, because for a salesman, time ticks. Like now we are here, we spend how many minutes? Going to 30 minutes. For a salesman, every time is money for him. What do I go on the sales suite? Do I have enough POS material? Do I have the equipment? What you even anticipate what your customer may ask. So is it important to plan? Yes. Okay, I should have allowed you to answer that question. Sorry about that. But is it important to plan? What are the implications of poor planning? Poor planning leads to poor performance. There is this thing that they used to tell us when we were growing up. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning helps us to take the right decision to our destination. If for me, if this is what I'm able to achieve today, to say, okay, when you go back to whatever we do, how can we achieve what they call a structured um, a structured core? I will have said I've not done badly. What should be planned and prepared? So you have your route plan. Route planning, you have what they call journey planning. It depend, like I said, it depends on your for SMEs. You mean for it depending on your location. If for example, I don't know, I know we are across Africa. So for those in Nigeria, if you are in Lagos, for example, if your coverage you are operating from Bagada, for example, there's a place called Bagada. If you are operating from that location, so you need to know what is Bagada, how many outlets or how many retailers do I have in Bagada. This will be all retailers that is able to sell your product. So this is where data management comes in. And today, there are lots we can do with data. I will share something with you. So we have a business of trading, and then we are on lockdown. So I'm trying to engage my staff. So I told one of them, I said, "Come, I want you to go back. We have a what they call one what do you call it now? This box, a database. Go to our database, pick all our client list for the past 6 to 7 years. So we over time we continue to improve on the structure of client record. So I want us to have them on Google, move them to Google uh, address, such that when during this COVID, we can continue to engage them. So the way I ask them to do it, to structure it in a way that if any of us go into Google, we can say client is Sheyi Manua. Sheyi Manua, what did she do for us? Which year was she with us? What was the object? You can see it. That way, you can send a mail, you can send a text. So with Google Map, it's so easy today. With Google Map, sorry, with Google address, on any phone number that on any phone that has the same that number, you can have a WhatsApp engagement with that particular client. So there was the time that we were doing email. We moved from email, we were doing bulk SMS. Now it's more of WhatsApp SMS that we are doing. So with that way, we can actually list. I know that I'm sure you have seen what they call broker listing. You can list your client based on the type of engagement we have. We have in our database over, I would say, over 5,000 records. So how do I send? I can't send a bulk message to all these 5,000 people. But if I know that this one, for example, is a Muslim, the Muslim, they are doing Ramadan. So today is Friday. Have a list of our clients that are Muslim. Send them a Ramadan greetings today. Do you know that if a Christian is getting Ramadan greeting, you will be looking at what's wrong with this person. And if a Muslim is getting Easter greeting, like, does this person know what he's doing? But if you have it properly segmented, you'll be able to achieve a lot. That is one idea I've given you guys today. So you can plan. So in planning, you have your customer record. With that, you can easily target. With that, you can, if you have good data, you know what volume a particular customer can do. If you know what volume a customer can do, say for example, you sell Coca-Cola, you sell Coke, Pepsi, soft drink, and a particular customer can do 10 crates, and you are doing 1 crate. That means you are doing about 10% of that customer capacity. So when you know your customer capability vis-a-vis the stage you are with the customer, you are able to ask yourself some questions and say, come, how do I move from 10% of what I'm doing with this customer to even 30 to 40%? There's a program we call key account management. Maybe one of these days you can do that as well. How do I move from 10% to 40%? There is what they call the Pareto efficiency in sales. That is the key account management, that the 20% of your customer usually will give you 80% of your revenue. So this 80%, how do you take some of them into becoming another 20%? Those are the skills. Those are where you learn some process. I have a colleague of mine. He's not a natural salesperson, but he's a technical salesperson. He is very good with understanding all those tactics. But when it comes to say, yeah, go and sell, he may not able to sell. But I have someone that just give him any product, he will sell it. But you need to back him up with data. That is where the mix of data, the mix of psychology and science then comes in. So there are other things that are got to do with paperwork. You have vehicle review sources and objective every day or every week. After the call, do you sit down to call your your staff to say, hey, how was your call? What happened? If you don't do that review, over time it becomes as if uh, oh, let me just go out and come back. So we come to what they call setting smart objective. I'm sure we are all used to objective setting, and where we talk about smart objective is what they call specific objective. Must be measurable, must be ambitious, must be realistic and time bound. I'm sure we've had this severally. I believe in stretching objective. There must be stretch objective to deliver growth. These are the what are the objective of setting smart objective, um, and that objective must benefit both your company and your customer. So if you manage a customer, for example, you want to sell to a customer, you should not think about yourself alone. So because if you think about yourself alone and you are selling to this customer, you can sell today, but that sales may not be sustainable because by the time the guy discovered that this guy just come, he only think about his company, doesn't think about myself. By the time the next producer comes, it will move. So in looking at your own objective, always consider the client to say, is it good for, is it a win-win solution? You know, so you need to translate the objective into your customer language. You need to, yeah, the objective must be smart. It must be specific. And you want to sell 10 or 20? At what time? You must be ambitious. You can't have the capacity to sell 10 to a customer and you are just doing that 10. If you don't give yourself a stretch objective, you just be there. See, I'll tell you something that happened which we cannot take lessons from. So in the cement, we work with the cement industry. There was a time that it was Lafarge or WAPCO. They were controlling about 70% of the market, cement market in Nigeria. That was huge, up to 2004, 5. They were there. They have their factory at Wekoro in Nigeria, and they have one in the north. Until some new players came, but they were just okay. They were selling okay. They didn't have any. There was no, maybe because the owners are not here, so they were just okay until the Dangote came into the scene. Today, today, Lafarge is struggling. You can imagine a person that used to own the market. He dictates what other people are doing. In fact, the Dangotes of this world were buying from them before. Today, they are just panting. And like that in some other industries. You see that. Um, yeah, look at the flour milling industry too. So if you are not ambitious, huh? If you don't think about your customers, the you become a business that is not sustainable and just a matter of time. You know. Let me not bore you with the different types of objective, but like I said, you have your customer objective, you have your business objective. Business objective is to move from X to X. Usually, you want to move from market share 30% to 40, 50% market share. So that will determine the core, the core objective. That will then be we inform dovetail into the customer objective. You need to carry your customer along and say, hey, Alaji so or Mr. So. This is you agree. Then you as an individual salesperson, you have your own ambition. You want to do well in your career. You want to make money. Those are the what we call the types of objectives. Then the benefit of planning. I've spoken about that. Job satisfaction. The company itself will do well, very well. Individual and the company will do very well. Their customers too, they will do greatly. So planning and preparation, that is about planning and preparation. Um, then we go back to psychology of selling. This is was this effective of um, sorry, um, marketing mix in achieving sales target. I was going to give you in sales, there are about four P's of selling. There is the price, there is the product, price, product, sorry, 1 minute, price, product, place, price, products, place. So those are there is the fourth one, it's not in my head now. So um, the product is very key in the mix for sale. The price you sell is very key. I was going to give you a um, a graphic representation of this. I was looking for something that represents this. I didn't get a proper one. So then promotion, yeah, it's price, product, it's product, price, place, and promotion. These are the four key mix in marketing mix. Like I said, there is a debate to say what comes first. Is it the marketing that comes first or the sales that comes first? Usually, you don't. There is no much so many schools of selling. Like I said, because a lot of people believe sales is an innate thing. But marketing, that is where the warfare comes, the strategy comes. That is where you need to know all the tactics and all the tools. So every decision that you take in marketing is hinged on these um, four ingredients, which is the product, the price, the promotion, and place. So in whatever you do, the proper consideration of this list helps you, to develop a good strength and then to limit your weakness. If one of the things you want to do to achieve is competitiveness, and to become adaptable, you know. And the real essence of being in business is what? What is the essence of being in business? Can anybody tell me? Huh? Before we go into recession,
To make money.
is to make money. Yes, that is the essence of doing business. But I would say the whole essence is profitability because you can be making money and not be profitable. Are you aware?
Definitely.
You can be
Cash
making
flow.
money. Yeah, you can even have good cash flow, and you are not profitable. So those are other. I'm sure there are other people that will take you on how to become profitable. So quickly, I haven't done all the bits about sales. I'm trying to conclude in the next 5 minutes. We are approaching a recession globally. This morning I was thinking about the airline industry. Um, and I can imagine what is happening in the whole of that industry. I can imagine what is happening in the whole of that industry. It's really a bad time for them. So, what happened in a recession? Declining in national sales, declining in sales. If you even if you said to the world, look at it, you can't even travel. You can't even travel. Today, the only thing that is selling, even look at it, all the nose marks and all this stuff, because today there is a weak consumption income. So, during that kind of recession, what do we have? People want to just want to eat, and if you are not even careful, some people will not be able to afford to buy the food because nobody is paying, and so everybody is keeping the cash now. You understand what I mean? So how do we? The question is, this is where you have to think out of the box. It can be a strategy thing for you to say, do I want to stay? This is the danger of having or staying in one industry or having one product. The smart business people, um, for example, I'm sorry if your business is training. Hmm? I'm sorry, except that you have somebody that wants to support you. How many people want to go and do training now as an individual? How many people? Everybody is doing virtual, and it's free. Data itself is an issue. But this is a lesson for all of us. We should not be. If you are a CEO of a firm, you should not have one product. You should have it that in a way that should have combination of products for different seasons. So you should have a product that sells in December when everybody is doing Christmas. You should have a product that sells in summer when everybody is traveling. Yeah, you may have one maybe that is you are known for. Say this one, whether rain or dry, you are there. They all know you for that. But when you do your business, uh, sometimes you have excess cash. Sometimes you have to make sure you do it and invest in both either related or unrelated business. Otherwise, what happen now will happen to so many people. Some people, as we speak, maybe they have a line for food, and everybody's complaining. They are able to quickly, wrap up. Maybe the food line itself was not doing well before, so you can now focus on it and bring it up. You know, so in recession, or like I said, the consumer become value oriented. Everybody is concerned about cash. Your employees, they are worried about their job. So it's not a time to stop spending on. Yeah, some people will say this is the time to spend on marketing. It's not the time to cut marketing budget. That is where people are still advertising on the TV. You can see that some people are still advertising on the TV. So how do you keep up your profit margin? How do you maintain your power of your brand appeal? How do you retain your customers today? Today, if during this, we've done something, we've been home for about depending on which part of the world are you, between 4 and 6 months, then 4 and 6 weeks. If you have not been able to relate with your customers in these weeks, is it after the lockdown that you now start calling them, Mr. A, I'm here. So these are the questions you ask yourself. Am I connecting with my clients even at this period? How do I keep my business volume at a particular level? These are where the issue of thinking out of the box comes in. How do I retain my channel members? How do I prevent my customer from turning out? Yeah, some customers don't stop spending during recession. Um, they spend, everybody spend on, everybody's eating. You are drinking water. You are eating. You are spending money on energy. You are spending money so people are still spending money. You know, So that is where, like I said, it would be nice if you have different line of product. That is where those comes in. Um, the others that has to do with market share and other that a bit technical. Yeah, because I need to end in about a few minutes. Determine the best route to market in an environment. Route to market usually are elastic to variation. Um, the term that is becoming popular now is agility. So you must be agile. Um, you must have what they call adaptable skills. That I have a slide on the typical route to market. We'll come to that. Maybe I should just go that and come back to you. So depending on what you do, let's look at a typical route to market um, for a manufacturer, for example. So a manufacturer is here if maybe he's producing salt. He produce he produces salt. So for a salt producer, you have depending on your routes to market and your channel, some will have what they call different categories of distributors. They have the key distributor, they have the super distributors, so they don't sell to everybody. You get me now? So they sell to distributors. The distributors then sell to retailers. These are the neighborhood shop. Distributors are those that comes with trucks to buy. They send their trucks to the manufacturer. They pick. They bring it to the depot, to their own depot. From their own depot, they bring it to. If you are familiar with Nigeria, for example, maybe they take it to Ido or to take it to Balogun Market, all those areas where we have the major retailers. From there, everybody goes there to buy. But that is even changing because during this COVID, so these are new ideas. Some smart people are doing what they call home delivery. It's becoming popular. So you don't need to actually go to that market to buy because what you are going to buy in that market, they are the same price. So what you need to be able to do is how do I convince you that you are giving you the same quality and the same price at which you buy at that market? And that one that is becoming fashionable at the big supermarket. In Nigeria, we have the one popular called ShopRite. And there's a lot of other neighborhood supermarkets that are coming up that were not there 3, 4, 5 years ago. You get me now? So before it used to be everybody goes to. So marketing is dynamic. So it's the same channel. So how do I maintain all these channels? At the end of the day, all we want to reach is the consumer in home or out of home. How do I reach my final consumer? Do I want to reach my final consumer through my distributors? Do I want to reach my final consumer through the supermarket? All these um, depend on the nature of your product. It depends on they call it the product life cycle of your business. It depends on the resources that you have. It also depends on how competitive, how rivalrous your industry is. If, for example, I know a customer of mine in those days that he wasn't bothered with retailers, he just have few distributors. He said to those distributors, if you like, go and buy from them because he was in control of that particular line of business. But if you are in a very competitive market, you'll be doing a lot of thinking. Otherwise, today you are number one, tomorrow you are not even anywhere. You know. So there are bits that we have on emotional intelligence. Everybody is talking about emotional. There are lots you can do with emotional intelligence in managing your channel. Emotional intelligence is very deep. I would want us to go into that. But if you have any questions around emotional intelligence, I may be able to. Anyone that I'm not able to answer, I will let you know. Then in managing your channel, in determining your route to market, data is very key. In fact, in today's world, data is the engine. And in data, you leverage on technology. The leverage, there are lots Google has done for us. There are lots that is happening in that space. So you leverage on technology. I always tell my colleagues and friends, let Google be your friend. Don't be my friend. Um, in wrapping up, in managing your channel, the basic things that you need to do: know your customer, know your company, have your vision, have your objective, then know your consumers, know the trade, the structure, the channels, the need, limitation, and opportunity and threat in the industry. Importantly, know your competitors. We talk about product mix. You know your competitor, know what they do, know the trade terms. They are what they call trade terms. You may need to know the organizational structure. Recently there was something that happened. So you should be following what happened in a multi business. So there's a rivalry between Dangote, I will always say this, and Lafarge. But for what has never happened before in such industry, the MD of Lafarge resigned. Before the resignation date, he joined Dangote as an MD, which was it was a uproar. COVID has covered a lot of things. Everybody was thinking about that before, because it was at the time of COVID. Because now nobody is even talking about. Even if we on the lighter note, if you kill anybody during that COVID thing, before you know, everybody has forgotten about what happened. But it was something that I'm sure at some point will be a debate in the business schools of this world. How did it happen? What were the terms of employment that he had that allowed him to leave a competitor and join the next one at that level? So, but Dangote will have studied the structure, organizational structure. Okay, maybe they need this man to get to where they want to get. How do we get it? So those are things. If you operate sales is a war. Selling is a war. It's not okay. I'm selling this. I'm happy. No, you don't compete and have friends. Mm-mm. Maybe you meet at some point in a network event, but you don't start to share ideas and data. So know your territory. Who lives where? What is the habit? What is the culture? If your example, if your territory is national, the culture in South is not the same culture in Southwest. It's not the same culture in North. For example, you don't go to the northern man and give a hand and you want to shake it. They will just learn that they might even banish you. You can do that, maybe a bit of that in the Southwest. In the Southeast, you don't even need to shake. You can just wave at your elderly person. So these are the things you need to know. What's the territory? Territory is the literal base where you work and you're responsible for geographical consideration, channel. These are the consideration for a territory. You look at in determining territory. Key thing is economic. How much money am I going to make in that? Focusing on that territory. So I hope I've not taken too much of your time. So yeah, I hope I've not exceeded my time for this presentation. So yeah, I will stop for question and answer.
That's fine. You're actually just on time. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. So ladies, let's have the questions coming in. We have 2 questions already. We have a question from, I don't know who this is, but okay, she says, please, what does VUCA stand for?
Okay, VUCA, you gave us that, I think it came from you.
Okay. Should I answer it or do you want to answer it?
Yes, please answer it. Please answer.
Okay, so VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Is a business environment in which we find ourselves. I mean, for instance, no one knew we're going to have a situation like COVID just about a few months ago. So that's the nature of the economy that we operate in. It's uncertain, it's complex, and it's ambiguous.
Okay. I think I'm seeing.
Okay, so I'll go on to the next question. I'm trying to fish it out now. Okay, so uh, this is from Abigail. She says the case of retail outlets seem applicable more to products. What about services?
Okay, so do you want me to answer that?
Yes, please go ahead.
So for services too, in determining your territory. So for example, where is Abigail operating from?
From Lagos, Nigeria. No, from Nigeria. I don't know whether it's Lagos.
Okay, so you're operating from Nigeria. So first, if you go back to that slide, in determining your territory, knowing your channel is okay. You know your company, you know your product, you know your consumer. So what you need to know is that what am I selling? So we've spoken about all the because I'm used to manufacture. If you are doing services too, you can say you want to stay in Lagos. You can stay in Lagos, maybe depending on your strength. You don't want to go outside Lagos. So I want to focus, but there are risks to that. Like I have a line of business where um, we do training, it's a service. Now I always tell in our management, what we believe we don't want to do public sector. We don't do government business. It's a strategy, a deliberate strategy for us because we don't have the capacity and the things people do to play in that market. However, we do private sector. So every private sector is in our territory, all over Nigeria. But do I have the resources to operate in Abuja? Okay, I have an office in Abuja. Can I operate in Port Harcourt? No. Abuja because we don't want to do things in Abuja. But in Lagos, I can operate in Lagos. Even in Lagos, can I be everywhere? No, because of the nature of what I do. So I operate from my office in Odofin or in Bagada. I go to reach out to my customers depending on where they are. That is the structure of that. But in all, know your product, know your customer, know your competitor. Then you know your channel. Where are my customers? Okay, we divided our territory. We have public sector, we have private. We say we don't want to play too much in public sector, fine. But in the private sector, we have the different industry. We have the banking industry, we have the manufacturing industry, we have we have power. So you can now structure them. You see, if you understand that structure, you can now say, like I tell my colleague, the one thing you need to know is what is the budget. If I don't know what service Abigail offer. So if, for example, if you offer training and you have divided your territory, so you have divided it based on industry because you don't want to divide based on say Bagada, no. So I'm not divided based on in the industry. You now say in a manufacturing industry, who spend more on training? For example, you say Vitafoam is the highest spender. How much is Vitafoam spending? So this is where data comes in. This is why we are understanding your product, understanding your market. So if, for example, Vitafoam is spending 100 million in training, and you are not a customer of Vitafoam, that means you are not there. You are not a client of Vitafoam. So this is a thing that you may not be there today, but setting your target for yourself that I want to offer service to Vitafoam. That is where my ambition is. So all your approaches, when you now get into Vitafoam, maybe today Vitafoam out of 100 million, they gave you 1 million. That is how much percentage? That is 1%. Huh? But you are there already. So being there, you can now start planning. Okay, I'm there today. So I've done 1 million. How do I move to 10 million? So these are ways they say plan, structure, in understand your market, understand your product, understand your territory. Sometimes you are not able to get those data easily. But if, for example, you have sometimes you need to do, I have a program that we run in our place, we call it is scanning your environment. I have to get it out of my head. So it's about getting information from what from what your client what they do. It's about getting information. So how do I get those information? There are strategic way of getting those information. You may get it from your client. You may get some of this information from your competitor. If, for example, you are aware that your competitor is saying offering 30% to a particular client, let's say 30% of that business is 20, and you are doing just 2 million, then you start asking yourself, why can't I? What do I need to be there? Then you can start building to that. I hope I've answered that question.
Yes. Okay. All right then. Thank you. Next question is someone was asking, how can she generate data from her business?
Yeah,
I think that's really not simple enough.
yeah. You
But
want
she
to
said,
answer that?
no, you go ahead. You're the facilitator.
It's not simple, Shay, because data management is not that. It's very simple. It's very simple and it's not very simple. Um, Today, you need to, okay, I'll tell you, you need to be aware that you need to do this. You need to be conscious of it. Very, very conscious that every opportunity you interact with your customer, you are picking data. So I'll tell you, as a businessman or a structured business manager, you must always go with your journey um, um, notebook. So every interaction, you write it down. It's data. You do what they call a call memo. You do what they call a call note. And the best way to interact, before it used to be access, Microsoft Access, the best, easiest thing to use is Excel. You can, today, I don't know what level your business is, but put all your data in Excel for now. Just be putting it. Every engagement, every interaction, every call memo, phone numbers, addresses, the things that they are buying, what they are not buying. There are some off the shelf. You can get some download on the line. You can. There are some that's not too expensive. Maybe let me note it. I can refer somebody to help you talk to your group on how to generate data for your business. So there are a lot,
Okay.
but you need to be conscious to say, I need to get that data. It's very simple when you are conscious about it. So if you have this data scattered, like I said, I told you that I call one of my colleagues, we share with her the data of our business before she joined. Go and put this on Google. If we didn't have it, then we can, if we have it on doc paper, we can't even go to our office. Thankfully, we have it on Excel. Can easily share it. The danger is, okay, somebody else can have access to it. But today, what? Yeah, data is everywhere. Have you asked yourself, I was doing a program some years back. That was it's a long time ago, 1997, 98. And that was the period Google came about. And we were told that the wealth of nation will be determined by how much data that is available online. So here we are. We do things, we don't put it online. We hide it. When man will do something now, this is our presentation, he will publish it online. In fact, I was looking for, I attended a webinar on data management. I'm happy to share with you. I'll just take ask the guy that I want to share with you
Okay.
on using data to manage your business. I attended that recently a webinar. Oyinbo man will give you, doesn't care that whether you want to use it or not. But we don't, we keep data. We hide it and don't let them see it. Don't let them see what? What God has given you that you have already given out. He's giving it to some other people as well as he's giving you. So um, you have to be conscious that you want to manage data. You have to be conscious that you want to get. That's why it is easy. But it becomes difficult when you are not conscious about it and just suddenly woke up and say, hey, I want to manage. So in managing data, first be conscious about it. Two, be an Excel user. So go give yourself a good course on Excel. Today world, you can do this thing on YouTube. A lot of them are on YouTube. Excel, Excel, Excel.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So we'll take our last question, and it's from Nanas Mozimo. She says, please, how do you satisfy a very difficult customer, someone who's very analytical and a critic?
Okay. So the word they will always tell you that there's no difficult customer. A customer is a customer. First, you have to take off that the man is difficult or the man is. Sometimes I tell people that it's good to have a critic as a customer because those are the one that helps you to become what they call immutable. So I came from a background where they say complain is a gift. You know, that is the background that I came from. Tell you that com- complaint is a gift. So um, so we don't say a customer is complaining. We say a customer is giving us a gift. Huh? No, no. So now, how do I manage a difficult customer? Very simple. So I'll give you an instance. So I used to be a banker. I'm sure if I tell you this, you'll be surprised. I thank God it's not that I'm better off. I did very well. They used to call me a fine banker. So um, I used to achieve my target by the grace of God and by hard work and dividend and providence from God. So I used to have this customer that people would not know some of the rough shoulders, rough things that we've gone through. Who was a customer in Indo Market. Her name is Cogne Coca. Yeah, I remember the woman. So that time I was working for a particular bank and we needed to have the account of distributors of the manufacturing business. And then so they've given us territory. So you can see the territory management, open this account, was open. So it's very key to have those targets to understand what you need to do. This customer was a big customer of another bank. So we'll go to her. She said she can't do bank, but you can't bank with our bank because our bank is an Igbo man bank. Okay. So, but persistency is good. So note it. How do you manage a customer? One, you need to be persistent. One, you need to know what you want. If you know that this customer is a customer that you need, yes, be persistent. Usually they will cave in at some point, but it depends on how strong you are to pass. So one day, this customer, we just came, we were at our office. She said, "You people, what are you guys doing here?" She started calling us thief in the market. Say we are thief. That what are we doing? We don't want to do bank with you guys. You are thief. Your bank is a thief. You know, one of my colleagues said, Ayo, I will never go with you to this place. Oh. No problem. We kept going. So see, there will always be someday, something will just happen one day. So one, I've talked about being persistent. I've told you about understanding your product. I've told you about understanding your consumer, your market. Knowledge is very, very critical. So you see, when you exude knowledge, it is the whole thing that if a customer even asks, one day she had an issue with her account. So this customer back she was praising. Something happened. They did something that was funny, something basic, but she didn't understand it. But she needed clarification. So we were just there. Bank, this will come. What is this thing that this bank is saying? This happened to. Then I broke it down for her. I broke it down for her, saying, no, they are not cheating you. It's a normal thing, but you could have done this, done that, done this. This man should have told you that you should have. But they didn't tell me. I know, okay. I was now advising her how to manage and save money in relating with the other bank. At that time, she had not opened the account. We were still very, I'll tell you, a lot of the clients, customers in the Ijo market, a lot of them have gone under. That woman is still there because she's always at the desk every day. I don't know how she does it. She was doing it. I don't know now. She's always at her desk. So, and she's a good critic. Eventually, we became friends. Eventually, she opened an account. People will be wondering, how did she open that account? Eventually. So, you need to be persistent. And you see, knowledge is very, very critical. Then, for those ones that are critic, that means they are aware. They know what they are doing. So, you are not going to bamboozle them to say, hey. So, you go to them as if, come, it's a win-win thing. Let's do this thing to survive together. So, it's okay. You know that it's always good to have the mindset that I want to support you. I'm not here to because I want your business. No, let me be your help. That is a way to manage a tough customer. In quote.
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. Ladies, we've come to the end of our second masterclass for the week. As usual, you know the assignments will be sent to your boxes tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. It's been an immense pleasure, you know, having this session with you. We do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to share your knowledge with us. I will definitely get back to you on the documents that you've promised to send us.
Yes. I will look for those documents out. Other documents that I need to share.
That we think will be of help to our community. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you
everyone.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Hey, so I just finished my presentation just now. You know, my colleague always tell me that I have one gift that I never failed. I never failed. So when I always be apprehensive that how will I do that they say talk that I will just be talking. Oh, I hope they are still good here. Wait. I think.